Have you ever felt like you're running on empty? Like no matter how hard you push, you're stuck in the same place? Listen carefully, because today I'm going to share an energy shift you've never heard of. And once you understand it, you'll never see your life the same way again. Shifting your identity is the most profound transformation you can make if you want lasting change. Most people focus on changing their habits, believing that if they can just wake up earlier, exercise more, or work harder, everything in their life will change. But here's the truth: habits alone are not enough. They are temporary unless they are rooted in a deeper shift your identity. Your identity is the story you tell yourself about who you are, and that story dictates every action you take. If you see yourself as someone who is bad with money, you will subconsciously make decisions that reinforce that identity. If you see yourself as lazy or undisciplined, your actions will match that belief no matter how hard you try to force better habits. This is why so many people feel stuck in cycles of inconsistency. They are battling their identity instead of transforming it. The key is to stop focusing on what you do and start focusing on who you become. When you shift your identity, your habits follow naturally. If you identify as a healthy person, you'll naturally reach for better food choices. If you identify as a leader, you'll act with confidence and take bold action. It's no longer a fight to stay motivated because you've shifted from trying to do something into being someone. For example, if you try to exercise more but still believe deep down that you're not athletic, every workout will feel like a struggle. But if you start seeing yourself as an athlete, you no longer have to push yourself to go to the gym. It becomes part of who you are. Athletes work out because it's what athletes do. Successful people don't try to be successful, they already see themselves as successful. So every action aligns with that belief. The power of emotional state is one of the most underestimated forces shaping our lives. Every decision you make, every action you take, and every goal you pursue is influenced by your emotional state at the moment. Your emotional state is like a filter that colors your perception of reality. When you're in a state of confidence, excitement, or certainty, you see opportunities everywhere. On the other hand, when you're in a state of fear, doubt, or frustration, even the simplest tasks feel overwhelming. The secret to achieving consistent growth, success, and happiness lies in mastering your emotional state. The problem is, most people believe their emotions are automatic responses to outside events, but that's not true. Your emotional state is not something that happens to you. It's something you create moment by moment through your focus, language, and physiology. Once you learn to shift your emotional state on demand, you gain access to unlimited power, creativity, and resilience. To understand this, think about a time when you felt completely unstoppable. Maybe you landed a big opportunity, achieved a goal, or overcame a challenge you once thought was impossible. How did you feel? You probably felt strong, energized, and certain. In that state, obstacles seemed smaller, and your ability to problem solve was at its peak. Now think about a time when you felt drained, frustrated, or anxious. In that state, even minor inconveniences felt like massive barriers. What changed? Not the external situation, but your emotional state. This is why mastering emotional state is essential. It gives you the power to face challenges head-on instead of running from them. The fast way to shift your emotional state is to change your physiology. Your body and mind are deeply connected. When you stand tall, breathe deeply, and move with purpose, you send signals to your brain that you're in control. On the flip side, when you slouch, breathe shallowly, and avoid eye contact, your body tells your brain you're feeling defeated. If you want to feel powerful, start by moving your body in powerful ways. Stand up straight, hold your head high, and breathe fully. This might sound simple, but it works because the mind and body are always in communication. Your brain releases chemicals based on the posture and movement of your body. This is why people who walk with confidence often feel more confident. The body drives the mind, and by mastering your physiology, you can take control of your emotions. Another way to control your emotional state is to master your focus. What you focus on becomes your reality. If you constantly focus on problems, fears, or failures, you'll feel anxious and overwhelmed. But if you shift your focus to solutions, opportunities, and gratitude, your emotional state will shift too. This is not about ignoring reality or pretending everything is perfect. It's about choosing which part of reality you give your energy to. Two people can face the same challenge, but one will focus on what's wrong while the other focuses on what can be done. The one who focuses on solutions maintains a resourceful emotional state, while the one who focuses on problems feels stuck. To control your focus, start asking better questions. Instead of asking, why does this always happen to me? Ask, what can I learn from this and how can I grow stronger? Your brain will find answers. Rewiring limiting beliefs is one of the most transformative shifts you can make in your life. Beliefs act as the invisible framework that shapes your reality. They influence your thoughts, decisions, and actions. If you believe something is impossible, you won't even attempt it. If you believe you're not good enough, you'll sabotage your own progress even when opportunities arise. These beliefs are often formed early in life based on experiences, feedback from others, or societal conditioning. The problem is most people accept their beliefs as truth without questioning them. But here's the truth: beliefs are not facts. They are simply interpretations of past experiences that you've repeated so many times they now feel real. The good news is that just as beliefs are created, they can be reprogrammed. You have the power to break free from the mental limits that have been holding you back. To understand the power of beliefs, think of your mind as a thermostat. If you set your thermostat to 70 degrees and the temperature in the room rises to 75, the system will automatically turn on the air conditioning to bring it back to 70. Similarly, if your self-belief is set that I'm only capable of earning $50,000 a year, even if you earn more, you'll unconsciously find ways to bring yourself back to that financial set point. This is why lottery winners often lose all their winnings within a few years, because their internal belief system didn't shift. Their financial thermostat was still set at their old income level. The only way to change this is to raise your internal thermostat by rewiring your beliefs about what's capable of achieving. When you raise that belief to, I'm worthy of earning $100,000 a year, you'll start taking the actions, learning the skills, and making the decisions that align with that belief. Rewiring beliefs starts with awareness. Most limiting beliefs operate on autopilot, hidden beneath the surface of your conscious mind. You may not even realize they exist. To bring them to light, pay attention to the thoughts you have when you face a challenge or when things don't go your way. Do you catch yourself thinking, I'm just not good at this, or this always happens to me? Those thoughts are rooted in deeper beliefs. Ask yourself, where did this belief come from? Is it actually true, or is it just something I've accepted as true? Often you'll find that these beliefs are based on past experiences that no longer apply to your present reality. Once you identify a limiting belief, it's time to disrupt and replace it. You do this by challenging its validity. Ask yourself, what's the opposite of this belief? What evidence can I find to prove that this new belief is true? For example, if you believe I'm bad at public speaking, challenge it by remembering times when you successfully spoke in front of others, even if it was just a small group. If you can find even one example, it breaks the illusion of absolute certainty that the belief is true. Replace the old belief with a more empowering one, such as I'm learning to master public speaking, and I get better each time I do it. Notice that this new belief doesn't have to be a lie or a wild exaggeration. It just has to feel more empowering than the old one. The next step is repetition and reinforcement. Beliefs aren't formed overnight, and they don't change overnight either. They're created through repetition, which means you must consistently reinforce your new. Mastering the energy of momentum is one of the most powerful forces for creating lasting change in your life. Momentum is the driving force that turns small actions into unstoppable progress. It's the reason why success seems to build on itself, and why people who start making positive changes often find it easier to continue improving. The challenge, however, is that most people wait for motivation to strike before they take strike. This is a mistake. Motivation is fleeting, but momentum is self-sustaining. The secret to achieving momentum is simple: start before you feel ready. Action creates energy, and that energy fuels even more action. Once you tap into the power of momentum, you'll find that tasks that once seemed difficult or overwhelming suddenly become easier. The resistance you once felt disappears, and you begin to feel like you're being pulled forward instead of pushing uphill. Momentum works like a flywheel. A flywheel is a large, heavy wheel that takes a lot of effort to get moving at first. But once it's spinning, it requires much less energy to keep it going. The same principle applies to personal growth, fitness, business, or any other area of life. The first few steps are always the hardest because you're fighting inertia. But once you build momentum, the process becomes smoother and more automatic. This is why so many people struggle to start new habits. They expect immediate results, but they don't realize that momentum means time to build. For example, if you're trying to establish a new workout routine, the first week might feel exhausting. Your body is sore, your motivation is low, and your mind is filled with excuses. But if you push through, the second week becomes a little easier. By the third week, it starts to feel like part of your daily rhythm. This is momentum in action. Momentum doesn't just apply to physical habits, it applies to mindset and confidence too. If you start taking small actions toward a big goal, each success builds your belief in your ability to succeed. For instance, if you want to launch a business, the first steps might feel overwhelming. But if you start with one small action, like researching the market or reaching out to a potential mentor, that small victory gives you a boost of confidence. That confidence pushes you to take the next step, and then the next. With every win, you create a feedback loop that builds more confidence and more momentum. It's the reason why people who achieve one goal often go on to achieve even bigger ones. Their belief in themselves has grown, and that belief creates more action, which fuels more results. The key to building momentum is consistency. Small, consistent actions are far more powerful than big, inconsistent bursts of effort. Too often, people aim for perfection instead of progress. They tell themselves, I'll wait until I have more time, more money, or more knowledge. But waiting kills momentum. If you want to tap into the unlocking the energy of purpose is one of the most transformative shifts you can make in your life. Purpose is the driving force that fuels passion, perseverance, and unshakable determination. Without a clear sense of purpose, even the most talented and skilled individuals can feel lost, unmotivated, and directionless. But when you're connected to a deeper sense of purpose, every challenge becomes an opportunity, every setback becomes a lesson, and every day feels meaningful. Purpose gives you a reason to keep going when times get tough. It's the why behind your what. It's not just about what you do, but why you do it. When you're driven by purpose, you tap into a limitless reservoir of energy, focus, and inner strength. Many people think purpose is something they have to find. But the truth is, purpose is not something outside of you, it's something you cultivate from within. Purpose doesn't necessarily arrive in a flash of inspiration. For most people, it's revealed through action, reflection, and growth. You discover your purpose by doing, not by overthinking. It's the result of engaging with life, exploring your passions, and asking powerful questions like, what impact do I want to have on the world? Or how do I want to be remembered? Your purpose isn't necessarily tied to a specific job, role, or title. Instead, it's a deeper mission that guides your choices and actions. You can live your purpose as a parent, an entrepreneur, an artist, or a leader. The role you play may change, but your purpose remains constant. Once you discover your purpose, everything changes. Decisions that once felt difficult become simple because you have a clear guiding principle. Instead of asking, what's the easiest path, you ask, does this align with my purpose? This clarity cuts through confusion and self-doubt. Purpose also makes you more resilient. When you're living with purpose, you're less likely to quit when things get tough. Obstacles become stepping stones, not roadblocks. Think of it like a long-distance runner in a marathon. If that runner has no reason to finish the race, every mile feels like a burden. But if the runner has a purpose, like running to honor a loved one or raise money for a cause, those same miles feel lighter. The pain is still there, but the purpose is stronger than the pain. Purpose also elevates your emotional energy. People often underestimate how draining it is to live without purpose. When you wake up each day without a clear reason for what you're doing, your energy feels scattered. But when you wake up with a strong sense of purpose, you feel naturally energized. You don't need motivation to get going, because your purpose becomes the fuel. The tasks that once felt boring or mundane now feel meaningful. For example, an entrepreneur driven by a purpose to serve their community will approach their daily tasks with more energy and enthusiasm than someone who's just working for a paycheck. Purpose transforms have to and to get to. Instead of saying, I have to do this work, you begin to say, I get to do this work because it aligns with my higher purpose. Finally, living with purpose attracts opportunities and people who support your mission. When you operate with a clear sense of purpose, you radiate confidence, passion, and clarity. This energy naturally draws like-minded people into your life, mentors, partners, and supporters who align with your vision. Purpose is magnetic. It pulls in the right people and the right opportunities at the right time. When others see you living with passion and purpose, they are inspired to support you, partner with you, and help you achieve your mission. This is how purpose creates a ripple effect, influencing not just your own life, but the lives of everyone around you. This shift in identity comes from a process of repetition and reinforcement. At first, you might feel like you're faking it when you say, I am disciplined, especially if you've spent years believing the opposite. But repetition creates reality. When you declare a new identity and reinforce it with consistent action, your brain begins to believe it. It's not about being perfect, it's about being consistent. Each small win you achieve reinforces this new version of you. Over time, it becomes your default. The old version of you that used to procrastinate or give up becomes a distant memory. The shift is so powerful that you may not even recognize your old self anymore. One of the fastest ways to shift your identity is to change the language you use. Stop saying, I'm trying to be more disciplined. Instead, say, I am disciplined. The words you use are powerful commands to your subconscious mind. Language shapes belief and belief shapes reality. When you catch yourself saying, "I'm not good at this," immediately correct it to, "I'm learning to master this." These small shifts in language trigger a deeper change in self-perception. Your mind is always listening to what you say, so if you constantly tell yourself you're lazy, it will find ways to prove you right. But if you tell yourself, "I am relentless," your mind will look for evidence to support that too. This process works because the brain is designed to protect and reinforce your identity. It seeks consistency between your beliefs and your actions. This is called cognitive congruence. If your belief is, "I am not a morning person," your brain will make sure you hit snooze every day to stay consistent with that identity. But when you change your belief to, "I am the type of person who wakes up with energy and purpose," your brain will begin aligning your actions with that belief. Suddenly, waking up early feels less like a punishment and more like a natural part of who you are. So how do you begin the shift? Start by declaring your new identity, even if it feels uncomfortable at first. Write it down, say it out loud, see it in your mind, then act in alignment with it every day. You don't have to be perfect. If you see yourself as disciplined, every small act of discipline, even brushing your teeth on time, reinforces that identity. Every choice you make is a vote for the person you are becoming. Over time, those shifts add up to a completely new version of you. Shifting your identity is not just about becoming better, it's about becoming different. When you see yourself as a leader, you stop waiting for permission. When you see yourself as disciplined, you stop relying on motivation. When you see yourself as a person of integrity, you stop making excuses. The energy shift is powerful because it changes everything from the inside out. No longer are you trying to change your habits. Your actions begin to match who you already believe you are. This is how you create lasting transformation, not by forcing yourself to change, but by becoming the type of person for whom change is natural.